All right, Coach, 2013-14 schedule is being released. Just your thoughts maybe a little bit on what went into making this schedule and how you set up the schedule for this year.
Well, every year I try to give our team and our program the best opportunity to play the best teams in the country. You know, what's going to prepare us to win conference, what is going to prepare us to have a shot at the regional championship, and that can help get us see the best teams, you know, the ones that are ranked in the top 35 as much as possible. We're going to start off at Furman. We have not been to Furman's event, the Lady Paladin, in probably 3 or 4 years. And that field, Kelly Huster's done a great job building that tournament back up. And we're going to start there in Greenville, South Carolina. Then we're going to make a trip back to what's been a great trip for us for the last 4 years is Northwestern at the Windy City Classic. I believe Oklahoma State is the defending champion, and we got to see University of Washington and Purdue, and obviously Northwestern. A lot of great teams out of there from University of Arizona, University of Washington, and just see a great caliber of field at that event. Then it's up to us in beginning of October, to go to East Carolina, and we were co-champions last year, so we're gonna kind of defend, I guess. We were co-champions and try to defend our place in Greenville, and that's always gonna have a nice regional feel for us there. And finally, to end the fall, we'll have our landfall tradition, and this year we were able to secure number 2 Duke, number 3 Alabama, defending champion Oklahoma State, Arizona out of the Pac-10. Once again, a really deep field for us to play at home.
All right, now maybe just talk a little bit about the spring 4 tournaments there, including a trip to California, a trip you guys haven't taken in probably actually I think in your entire time here. But you know, as we talked a little bit off camera, a chance for maybe to see some teams that you don't see obviously often on the East Coast. Maybe just talk about that and then the rest of your spring schedule.
For sure. We have never been as far west than Denver, Colorado. And this year with 4 seniors, I have Lori Beth Adams, who is she's going to be trying for being All-American status. We were able to secure a spot in UCLA Pepperdine's event, the Bruin Wave Invitational. So really excited to go play an LPGA stop or former LPGA stop in Los Angeles, and be able to start our spring in a great field with a lot of the Pac-10 schools. And so that's going to help a lot it'll be a very demanding test for us, very challenging, but I think, you know, with us practicing and having played a good fall schedule, that we'll be prepared, and it will help her see a lot of the people that she'll be in consideration for All-American status. From there, we're going straight to LSU. We've played in LSU's event since the inception, so a tournament we're very fond of. Once again, another great field with SEC, ACC teams on another demanding golf course at the University Club. After LSU, we're at Bryant Park. So Bryant Park National, co-hosted by Wake Forest and UNC Greensboro. Once again, deep field with a lot of the best ACC, SEC, and Big 12 schools there, and Big 10 schools. Finally, we're going to host our home event at River Landing, the Lady Seahawk Classic, and just to finish off, that's going to be about 2 weeks before conference. So a nice segue, being at home, a great tournament that I have with the River Landing members that can help the kids get some confidence and rolling into our conference championship. And obviously our conference championship is going to be for the final year, at least right now, at St. James Plantation at the Reserve Club. And so I think we have a deep schedule, nationally ranked teams, a great test for our players, a great challenge for them to really see how they measure up against the best teams in the country.
You talk about those 4 seniors. Coming into last year, a couple of them really didn't have a lot of experience. Now they do. What are your expectations now with such a tough schedule for these tournaments? I mean, obviously last year you don't want to say you go and think you're not going to win, or maybe your expectations are a little different. This year, though, with all that experience and especially a player like Lori Beth, who's really blossomed in the last 18 months, expectations any different with some of these tournaments and where you think your team will fall in place there?
Well, I'm hoping that, last spring, they all got to see a lot of action. And at the beginning, it was, there were a lot of nerves, haven't played in a long time, and they've worked a lot this summer. They've played in some great events this summer, nationally ranked amateur events. They've had some good finishes, some great finishes as well. I think that helps them gain the confidence. They've seen a lot of these players from these big teams as individuals. They're still kind of representing their school, but not representing their school. And I think every single time you get in that kind of field in the summer, and now you're rolling into your college schedule, it's going to help us. It helps them really believe that they can play at a higher level and that we can be competitive at a higher level. So I'm looking forward. I'm really excited to see what we can do. I'm excited to get the season off, started really well, and work with the kids, work with the players, and still improve a lot of our games. I think we still have a lot to do in putting. We still have a lot to do in short game, but I think from a confidence standpoint, they'll be in a better mental situation that they'll feel like they'll be able to play well and be a little bit more relaxed as they're competing.
All right, maybe lastly, just talk a little bit about that summer schedule. You had a lot of kids play.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lori Beth was the highlight of that with some of the great finishes she had, the run at the USAM as well. What do you think about that? I mean, you kind of talked a little bit about before that maybe that tied into last spring as those kids got more experience and kind of got more comfortable. Do you think that's going to be a springboard now, more or less, to get you guys going this year?
Most definitely. I think anytime you can be out there competing and advance or finish high in certain events that are nationally ranked, that get you a lot of points, that you feel like you really feel like you belong. And not only Lori Beth, making it all the way to the USAM, having great finishes in the in the Eastern Women's Golf Association Championship, but people like Mallory Warwick, Megan Burnham, they're both a junior and a senior. Larry Kumar back in the lineup, had great 2 years for us, and Jean Metivier from France, who plays all through the summer in Europe. I think a lot of them, they're gonna be a lot stronger this year. You have 4 seniors, that have now had a lot more experience, and I'm looking for their experience. Obviously, not only them, being good teammates and having great camaraderie and great chemistry, but having played. The only really new player is a transfer, Elizabeth Hall from Pinehurst, that transferred from a Division II school, but was the #1 player at that Division II school. She might have, so-called the least amount of experience, but I don't see her taking that long to catch up with everyone else. And I see the other ones embracing, a player that wants to be challenged at another level. So I think as we work along through the semester and through the year, we're only going to get a little bit better every single time out. And I'm hoping that it can take us to winning a conference championship. That would be our 4th in, I think, 6 years. Winning a conference championship or being very competitive at the regional level, making it to the NCAAs. So, I think all we're just going to build upon that experience that we have.